Do you ever just play Dark Souls and think to yourself, what is the deal with Dark Souls? But seriously, unlike most RPGs that are bursting at the seams with endless codex entries and NPCs that just won't shut up, Dark Souls is rather restrained in its storytelling. Like the game itself, it ekes stuff out in dribs and drabs, and most of the time you have to connect the dots yourself so it all makes sense. And even then, there's various ways that the story and characters can be interpreted. But ain't nobody got time for that. Regardless of looking and sounding sparse as hell, Dark Souls is steeped in lore. And as Dark Souls 3 is out early next year, here's my quick start guide to it all. Okay, so in Dark Souls lore, there are 3 ages. Well, technically there's 2 because the third is bad and you try and stop it from happening. Or not. Don't worry, this will all make sense later. Let's start with the Age of the Ancients. Admittedly, it was a bit boring. Everything was grey, there were no humans to mess stuff up, and the everlasting dragons ruled the roost. It was dark, but then there was light. The first flame seemed to come out of nowhere. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, did some poking around and found some immensely powerful Lord Stones within it. He gifted those to the Witch of Izalith, Grave Lord Nito, and the Furtive Pygmy, giving them the powers of gods. Naturally, a great war was started between the 4 lords and the everlasting dragons for control of the world. One dragon, the mortal Seath the Scaleless, defected against his own kind to fight for the lords, but that wasn't out of the kindness of his scale-free heart. He coveted a treasure that would make him immortal, because dragons and their treasure, am I right? Anyway, the lords won, the dragons lost. This ushered in the Age of Fire, an era of great growth and prosperity. Gwyn, the witch, and Nito were like gods. No one really knows what the pygmy was up to, but it's greatly inferred that his soul was what gave life to humanity, so I'm sure he was keeping busy. And everyone was as happy as I guess they could be in the Souls universe. Until, and there's always an until, the first flame started to diminish and the Lord Souls began to weaken, heralding the third age, the Age of Dark. Everybody understandably freaked out a little bit. The witch tried to recreate the first flame using magic, which failed and ended up killing her children and corrupting her so that she became the mother of all demons. A+ for effort, F for execution. Gwyn ends up sacrificing himself to rekindle the first flame by linking his soul to it, which works, but has the unfortunate side effect of creating the undead curse, where the afflicted are stuck in a loop of death and rebirth, which hey, is where you come in. In Dark Souls, you're the chosen undead. You get to depose these lords with swear words and sweaty controllers, and then you're presented with a choice. If you want to, you can sacrifice yourself to the first flame at the end to delay the Age of Dark again, or you can just extinguish the flame and become the Dark Lord, like Voldemort, but with a nose. And all that undead stuff is key in Dark Souls 2, where you're trying to rid yourself of the undead curse. But there's no concrete word on whether Dark Souls 2 or even the upcoming 3 are direct sequels, or if they're just set in the same universe. There's just mere speculation. Oh, Miyazaki, what are we gonna do with you? That's all for this week. I'm back again next week with some more in 2 minutes. Don't forget I'm on Twitter at LucyJamesGames, and I'll see you next time.